Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Signature Cocktail with Kyle Hammond. I am indeed Kyle Hammond, and tonight our guest is Joel from Through the Mixing Glass. Hello, Joel.
Hey Kyle, thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
Thanks for coming. And I forgot to mention tonight is a very special night for those of you that have been watching the Signature Cocktail know. I've only heretofore made one Malort drink here in Chicago. That's a weird thing, sort of, I guess, or maybe it's a true to life thing that we kind of avoid it, but we know it's there. But Joel has offered to make a Malort drink that he thinks is pretty good. So we're gonna see what we can come up with, right?
Yeah, that is the plan.
And so,
I'm
how
happy to
did
bring
you
the second ever Malort drink to the channel for you.
happy to breed? That's a big thing. It's like everybody wants to be the premier or the first or what. Like, what about the second? Like, you got to keep the party going.
I'll take that. I'll take
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So, speaking of, I wanted to ask you how you came up with this drink. But first of all, let's talk about Through the Mixing Glass. How did you come up with Through the Mixing Glass? Where did you get the start?
Yeah, Through the Mixing Glass started it was August of 2019. I had been working in video production, and basically working in video production had taken all the fun out of producing videos. And I felt like I wasn't getting to do any fun, creative projects. And so I just thought, why don't I combine my interest in video production and also my interest in cocktails, put the two together and see if we can make, just bring some fun back to video production for myself. So that's how I got the start. It kind of went in fits and starts for the first year or two or something like that, and then just kind of like really dove back into it within the past 2 years or so. And I try to put out videos, every week, every other week, worst case scenario. And yeah, so that's basically it.
Awesome. And so it's YouTube Through the Mixing Glass, but it's also on Instagram. I found you on Instagram and then like kind of back ended into your YouTube. But
Right.
I love all of the stuff because you're doing the shorts on the Instagram and the YouTube reel short. What is it? It's
The
I don't
YouTube
know.
Shorts, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. We
Uh,
need to just come up with one name for all of the different types of like short vertical video. There's too many of them at this point.
I agree. Can't we all just like figure out this is what it's called? Nobody call it anything else,
Yeah,
and nobody try
exactly.
and like brand it or like trademark. I own the name of video. Like, come on.
Exactly. Yep. We're all having fun here. Let's just like make it as easy as possible.
Speaking of having fun, let's make a drink. What do we make? What do we do first for this beverage?
So we are going to be making the drink is called the Malort Axe, and this is basically a riff that I came up with based off of another drink that was created in Chicago. That drink is called the Weathered Axe, and that was created by a bartender named Danny Shapiro. He's at the bar Scofflaw in Chicago, obviously,
Yeah.
which I've never been to, but I've heard really good things about. So I came across that recipe and thought, well, how can I do? I was looking for something I could do with Malort, and I needed something that could tame it. Obviously because Malort is notoriously awful tasting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
which you are of
it
course
is
very well
potent.
acquainted with.
It's awful, but it's yes, awful, but also the people that would argue for its not being awful would say it's potent. It's strong,
Right.
like it's very forward facing in
It's got a
everything that it
kick.
does.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's definitely like a dominant ingredient. Like if there's a
there you go.
cocktail with Malort in it, you're gonna know that Malort is in it. It doesn't hide very well.
No, no.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm interested to taste this drink to see how it sneaks in and how subtle you can make it.
Yeah, so exactly. I mean, and it's possible that this might not have enough Malort for someone out there's preferences. So people out there could potentially, if they really like Malort, I don't know if any of those people actually exist, but if they wanted to, they could probably bump it up a notch.
I'm always not sure if they exist or if they just say that they exist. Like
Right.
if
Yeah. They
it's
just
one of
want the
those like, yeah,
attention.
I like Malort. No, you
Yeah.
don't.
You guys think Malort is bad? I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
Um, yeah. So
We've,
the Malort acts first up, shaker set. And I don't know about you, but I always like to. This is something I read that you always want to start with the cheapest ingredients first. That way, if you
mm,
mess up, you can dump those out and you won't have lost your liquor or anything like that.
I heard that
So,
recently too, and I wasn't sure if it was on your channel or some other channel, but I was like, that makes
yeah,
sense.
anything that we can do in this expensive hobby of ours to a little bit cheaper is a good thing. So first up
Exactly.
is ginger syrup. We're gonna need a half an ounce of that.
Speaking of ways to make it cheaper, I make my own. So I did
Yes.
that yesterday. Insert a picture or try and find. Anyway, I made my own ginger syrup and I got way too much ginger to because I wasn't sure exactly how much it would take. And so
Right.
like now I'm like, all right, what else can I make with this ginger?
Yeah, exactly. It's a popular syrup, so you will definitely find other drinks out there that you can use it in.
Awesome. So here my ginger syrup going into, you said half an ounce?
Yeah, half an ounce of that.
Perfect. And are you putting it in your shaker tin?
Yeah, dropping it in the smaller half of my shaker tin.
Sweet. There you go. Right there.
Cool.
Cheers. Just
Cheers.
cheers to myself.
And then next we will add 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice.
And that's this stuff. Same kind of bottle, but a little bit different. 3/4 of an ounce.
Yeah, 3/4.
There you go. Lemony fun.
I like your
Oh, I
close-up
forgot to
shot.
ask.
Very
Did you
nice.
I forgot to ask, should I put the ice in first or we do that later?
I do mine right before shaking, but it's up to you.
Cool. Cool.
Cool. So next we will go with half an ounce of orange liqueur. I'm going with Pierre Ferrand dry curacao. But if anyone at home wants to try to make this and they don't have dry curacao, they can use triple sec. They can use Grand Marnier. Really, whatever they have.
And I
Perfect.
think we talked about this. Speaking of saving money, I'm like, I have a bottle of Grand Marnier. Can I use that instead
Yep.
of going and
Yep.
buying more stuff?
Absolutely. That'll work perfectly. So this is
So
another half an ounce of this.
half an ounce of Grand Marnier, and now I can't get the top off of. This is one of those like sticky beverages. There, I
Yeah, that's
think,
a from
because
what I
this lid,
understand, Grand Marnier is one of the sweeter of
yeah.
the orange liqueur, so it probably has a higher sugar content than some of the others.
And how much Grand Marnier are we doing?
That was another half ounce of that.
This is what I also love about this drink. When you sent me the ingredients, I was like, "Ooh, that's a lot of little pieces." Which, because a lot of like cocktails nowadays or whatever,
Hmm.
people put in the like, "Here's your two ingredient cocktail, boom boom," which I'm like, "Yeah, that's fun," but I also like a little bit of this, a
Yeah,
little bit of that. Like it's
yeah,
fun to mix it up.
yep, yeah.
And I'm curious. Your screen moved, so I don't know what I just did. But now you're back. Okay, we're
Okay.
cool. All right, half an ounce of Grand Marnier in the shaker. Now what?
Yep. Now it is time for the Jepson's Malort. We
Oh
can't
boy,
avoid it any longer. And
here we
you're
go.
really putting me to shame here because all I have left is this Jepson's Malort little mini bottle, whereas you, of course, have a full 750 milliliter one. I'm feeling some
I'm.
serious size envy here.
I mean, if you're gonna do it, let's go. Here we go. And
Well,
well,
see, the
you won't.
problem is
you will notice where it's at. I'm
Meaning
in a
it's not getting
very
drank that much. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, see, the problem is they don't sell this stuff in New York. So the only
Oh,
way I was
right.
able to get, my hands on this was to have a friend of mine who lives in Chicago mail me like, I think he sent me like 5 or 6 of these mini bottles. And I've been making them last as long as I can, but this is the last one I've got left. So I kind of use
What?
it sparingly these days.
Gotcha. Well, we'll
Yeah.
find a way to hook you up with a, a full size bottle of Malort
Yeah.
if you want it. That's up to you.
So what was your first Malort experience, Kyle?
Uh, my first Malort experience would have been way back when I first moved to the city back in like '98,
Okay.
probably.
Okay.
Whereas, you're at a bar and, you're new to Chicago. Have some Malort. You're like,
Yeah.
well, okay. And you're like, ooh, that's bad. And they're like, welcome to Chicago. Like, that's just like, okay, here we go.
The
And then,
Chicago handshake, right?
exactly. So, like, over
Yeah.
the years, every now and then you're out late at night and somebody gets it in their brain that, what would be great right now is a shot of Malort. You're like, okay, if that's where we're at, okay,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
doing
Are you
that
sure it would
now.
be great or would it be deadly if we did a shot of Malort right
Well,
now?
that's the other thing. Sometimes it's the perfect way to like put an end to the night. Like, all
Right.
right, if
Yeah.
this is what is next on our agenda, then that means it's time for me to go home. Good night, everybody. Bada bing,
Yeah.
bada boom.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, so
So,
add we're doing a half an ounce of the Malort if you haven't already put that in.
nope, not yet. Here we go. Half and that. Oh, over pour. Don't over pour.
I think that means you're stuck with however much you overpoured there, Kyle.
No, it's under 3/4 of an ounce, but it's a
Oh
little
yeah,
more
that's
than
fine.
half.
I think I put in a little more than a half too. That's totally fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
I
just
mean, we'll see if the drink tastes good at the end, but I think you'll survive.
yeah. Just we'll see.
Yeah.
Give it a give it a
Cool.
whirl.
And our last ingredient is an ounce and a half of bourbon, and the recipe specifically calls for overproof bourbon if you have it. So like 100
Perfect.
proof if you can.
That's what so yeah, what I did is I needed to get some bourbon anyway, and so uh, I was like, "Oh, what is overproof?" I didn't even realize overproof was over 50%, blah 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 blah. So I was in the shopping center and saw a bunch of stuff that was under 50%. I hadn't realized. So I found Old Forester 100 proof
Nice.
that is 50%,
Okay,
which I'm like,
that's
all right,
perfect.
right there,
Yeah,
coming
I'm
in
using
under the
Wild
wire.
Turkey. I'm using Wild Turkey 101, so we're right there on the same proof level.
Perfect.
Nice.
So let's get this guy going. 100 proof. Oof, yeah. An ounce and a half.
Yes.
I love that sound.
Yeah, that first pour when the bottle's kind of gurgling like that.
Yeah. That would make a good Foley
Yeah, it would.
sound effects. All right. That's all of our stuff, right?
Yeah, that's basically it. Now all that's left to do is just to add some ice to the shaker and give it a shake.
Boom,
Um,
boom. All right. Gotta get my ice. Uh, Here we
all
go.
right.
Ice in the shaker. Oh, there we go. Trying to organize a little bit while I'm at it. Boom, boom. Oh, shaked.
There you go.
Shaken.
Perfect. That looks good.
Soup. All right. Now what?
So whenever you're ready, I have mine. I'm going to serve it in a rocks glass, and I have a big cube of ice in there. But if people at home And you yourself, if you don't have a big, cube or whatever, you can just use regular ice.
Gotcha. I think I'm out of regular big cubes, so I'm just gonna have to go with some regular ice here. Oh, and I just used my last ice, shaking it up.
Okay, you
So,
can if that is the case, you could just serve it with the ice you shook it with. That's totally fine too.
oh, there you go. I guess I could have done that. 6 of 1. There we go.
There we go. And you'll want to strain that in, and I guess I'll just pour right now then.
Boom. Where's my Here we go. Ooh, I can smell the Malort still, but it
Yeah,
doesn't smell bad.
that Chicago glass is literally perfect for this drink.
I know. I love it. I love
I
any
actually
chance
think
I
one of the
can use my Chicago glass, but it's especially fitting for the Malort axe.
Yeah, absolutely. And I got to say, I think it's great how the people of Chicago, I don't think any city and its citizens loves their flag as much as you guys do.
it's it's funny because it's true, and people make fun of it and everything. But like, I have always been, even when I first moved here, I've been fascinated by the flag because it's
Right.
so steeped in history. Like
Ah,
there is. So I see you saying like you didn't realize. So
I didn't
my
know
real
that. No.
quick, my real quick. If you look at the Chicago flag, uh, the top. So this one is actually missing a bar. So there's 3 white bars, 2 blue bars, and 4 stars. The white
Uh-huh.
bars are the north, the south, and the west of Chicago. There is no east, so it's north side
Right.
Chicago, uh, west side Chicago, and south side Chicago are the 3 white bars. The two
Okay.
blue bars are the Chicago River and Lake Michigan. The 4
Ah,
stars are Fort Dearborn, Great Chicago Fire, well, there's two. The Expo, like
like the
the
World's
book,
Fair?
the World's Fair. Yeah, the one
Okay.
that the Great White. What's it called? There's a book. Anyway,
The book.
um,
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I forget the name of the book though. I think they're making a
I
show or a movie about it.
they keep saying that, but then like they
Yeah.
were gonna come out with it, and then Keanu pulled out of it, so he's not. They're
Ah,
not doing
damn.
it now. It
Ah,
was so
that's too
close.
bad.
Anyway, so that's the like history. Like it's fascinating. And if you can even go, the points on the stars mean something. I
Ah.
don't. I give up. Obviously, there's only so much I can get in my brain. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Well, the fact that you know that and I couldn't even tell you what the flag of the city of New York looks like is pretty impressive.
hey,
Yeah.
to each their own. You
To
got to
each
do
their
it.
own.
There you
All
go.
right. Ready to give this a
There is
try?
the drink, and now let's cheers.
All
I'm
right.
ready to
Cheers,
try
Kyle.
this. Cheers, cheers. Okay,
What do you
see,
think?
good job, cause it's uh it was hidden immediately, but
Right.
then it's on the back end. You're like,
Yeah,
oh, there's the
exactly.
Malort. I
It sneaks
recognize
up
that.
on you. It sneaks up on you.
Yeah, it's because it's like we said, it's a very distinctive flavor profile, and so like you can't miss it. Like when it gets to the back of the throat, then you're like,
Hmm.
ah. He's like Malort's like, here I am, I'm
Yep.
here, we're
Don't
good.
forget about me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like I don't know about you, but for me, like when I taste this, the first things I get are the lemon juice and the ginger,
yeah.
and then, like you said, the Malort just kind of comes sliding on in the back door there.
Sneaking in through the alley, which is another
Yeah.
thing Chicago has that New York does not have, is the alleys. It's all about the alleys. So
Okay.
that's another possible name. Is you could call it the the alley axe.
Ooh, there we go. That's a
I
good one.
like.
Yeah. Yeah, no. So I'm happy with how this drink turned out. And when you
Yeah.
asked me if I wanted to do, the show, the signature drink show, this was the first ever drink or video that I had on my channel. The Malort video that I did was the first one that I ever did that kind of like took off, even in a small way. I'm a smaller
Yeah.
channel, so even for me just to get like I think it has like 3,000 some views, that's a lot for a channel like mine. So I
Yeah.
figured that for the signature drink that we're doing here today.
I love it. Perfect. Thanks for doing it, and thanks for telling us how to make the axe, signature axe, alley axe, the Malort axe. It's an axe.
Yeah,
We'll do it.
whatever people want to call it, as long as they make it and enjoy it, then I'll be happy with that.
Awesome. Well, cool.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. Thank you. Cheers. Have a
Thank
good
you, Kyle.
weekend, everybody. We'll see you on the next one. Oh, you want to? So I think we posted everything through the mixing glass. I'll put links in the description and all that fun stuff. So
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it, Kyle. And if people want to check it out, that'd be great too.
have a good weekend, everybody.
All right. Thanks, Kyle.
Cheers.
See you, man.